The film opens with Hyuk in the hospital battling hepatitis. His illness, thought to be contagious, leads to teasing from both his parents and fellow patients. Da-eun, a compassionate nurse, tends to his needs and stands up for him against the bullies. As they spend time together, Hyuk finds himself developing feelings for her. One day he inquires about her ring and she explains that it's just a graduation ring, indicating she's neither married nor engaged. Taking advantage of his feelings, she visits him to share meals and rest in his room. Hyuk, noticing her exhaustion, generously shares his food and keeps an eye on her while she sleeps during her shifts. However, during lunch, he makes a rude comment that angers her. Before he can apologize, his health improves and he is discharged from the hospital. He returns to find Da-eun on leave, but is lucky enough to get her phone number. Initially hesitant, he eventually confesses his feelings to her. That evening, Da-eun invites him over, and he rushes there in his father's car, leading to a night spent together. The next morning, Hyuk wakes up early to prepare breakfast and fix a broken light bulb for her, which brings her to tears of gratitude. She kisses him in thanks, but he misinterprets the gesture. Unfortunately, she's not ready for a relationship at that time. Following this, they grow closer, with Hyuk frequently visiting her at the hospital and her home to care for her. He also drives her home from the hospital to protect her from a doctor who shows interest in her. During dinner, Hyuk notices that Da-eun is no longer wearing her graduation ring, and she confesses that she has lost it. On one of his visits, Da-eun invites Hyuk to Jeju, mentioning that she received a vacation package. As they prepare for their getaway, she surprises him with a pair of running sneakers as a gift. Grateful for the thoughtful present, Hyuk vows to shed some pounds and return to Jeju next year with a fitter physique. He starts running in his new sneakers and after some time successfully achieves his weight loss goal. Eventually, he moves into Da-eun's home and continues to support her. Hyuk, who works as a construction engineer, receives a promotion but must first transfer to Seoul as a contract employee before becoming a full-time staff member. Excited about the opportunity, he tries to convince Da-eun to support his career move, knowing that Seoul is quite a distance from their home in Incheon. When he senses her reluctance, he buys a new car and assures her that he will commute daily. He also presents her with an engagement ring since she hasn't had one since losing her graduation ring. Ultimately, Da-eun agrees to his transfer and Hyuk begins his daily commute. At his new job, he encounters Bo-young, another transfer who is highly competitive, as they both vie for the same position. Her intense nature creates a toxic work environment for Hyuk, leading him to vent about her to Da-eun every day. Consumed by thoughts of revenge against Bo-young, he starts to neglect Da-eun, even as she reminds him of their upcoming trip to Jeju. In one of their meetings, Hyuk identifies a significant flaw in Bo-young's bridge design, which allows him to get back at her. The management decides that Hyuk and Bo-young must collaborate to complete the project. Still irritated by her negative attitude, Hyuk refuses to assist her and continuously mocks her design. That night, while Bo-young stays up late working, Hyuk heads home. Unfortunately, he gets stuck in traffic and falls asleep immediately, missing out on time with Da-eun. Recognizing his dedication, Da-eun agrees to let him stay in Seoul during the week and meet on weekends. The next morning, he finds Bo-young exhausted from lack of sleep due to her workload. She opts to spend another night at the office, and Hyuk feels sorry for her. He decides to help her with her designs that evening. During the meeting, the higher-ups praise their progress and indicate they are strong candidates for full-time positions. After completing his project, Hyuk returns home to see Da-eun, but her plans have changed, and she has to work that night. She apologizes and asks him to fix a broken light bulb at home. Meanwhile, Bo-young begins to flirt with Hyuk as they need to collaborate on future projects. They end up spending their nights at the office to meet deadlines, and Hyuk starts to help her maintain her public image. Da-eun begins to notice that Hyuk is spending more time with Bo-young than with her, leading to fears of losing him. She has something important to discuss but finds Hyuk busy pulling an all-nighter with Bo-young, so they decide to postpone their conversation until the next day. Hyuk decides to grab a drink with Bo-young, pretending it's a celebration of their recent success. He tells Da-eun that he can't meet her again tonight because he's out with his new boss, which leaves her feeling let down and choosing to stay quiet about it. To make matters worse, Da-eun notices that Hyuk still hasn't replaced the broken light bulb. Bo-young makes another attempt to flirt with Hyuk, but he chooses to leave and head to Da-eun instead. Unfortunately, he gets stuck in traffic, which frustrates him since he has chores waiting at home. Both Da-eun and Hyuk are exhausted from work, leading to a heated argument. Da-eun points out that he hasn't fixed the light bulb as he promised and accuses him of only coming home to sleep rather than spending quality time with her. Hyuk responds harshly, which hurts Da-eun. In a moment of vulnerability, she reveals that she is pregnant. Hyuk reacts poorly to the news, and they agree to terminate the pregnancy. He takes a day off to support Da-eun at the clinic, but sensing his discomfort, she tells him to wait in the car. After the procedure, Da-eun feels deeply saddened, and although Hyuk tries to console her, his phone keeps ringing with work issues. In a selfless act, Da-eun encourages him to go back to work. Inside, she feels a sense of loss, realizing that Hyuk has changed. When they spend time together, she notices his reluctance and questions his feelings for her. Her heart sinks when he mistakenly calls her Pretty Bo-young instead of her name. When she inquires about Bo-young, Hyuk insists that she's merely a colleague. That night, they decide to end their relationship. At the office, Hyuk receives a package from Da-eun, which contains the engagement ring he had given her. He shows little interest in it and focuses on his growing bond with Bo-young. They share a kiss and end up spending the night together. Believing he and Da-eun are truly separated, Hyuk texts her to say he won't be joining her in Jeju and that she can take anyone she likes. He feels puzzled when he notices that her social media status hasn't changed since they were together. Memories of their trip to Jeju keep flooding back to him. Despite the hard work he and Bo Young put into their project, the management decides not to promote either of them to full-time positions. They enjoy one last celebration with the firm before returning to their previous jobs. While scrolling through his phone, Hyuk remembers his promise to Da-eun about spending Christmas in Jeju. He hurries to the airport that night to find her. In a twist of fate, he accidentally collides with someone and falls. To his surprise, it's the heavier Hyuk who we saw running at the airport earlier. Da-eun had met the lean Hyuk 1 year and 7 months ago and fell for him. She flirted with him and even bought them matching sneakers. They spent Christmas in Jeju together, and she made it a tradition to return every year. After that trip, Lean Hyuk moved to Seoul and began an affair with Bo Young. 3 months ago, Da-eun crossed paths with the chubby Hyuk. The ring he inquired about is actually the engagement ring that the slim Hyuk had given to Da-eun. During the tough times in their relationship, the chubby Hyuk was always there to lend her support. With her pregnancy, Da-eun found herself needing plenty of rest and food, which led her to sneak into the chubby Hyuk's room for a bite and some sleep. She felt anger towards him when he made a rude comment, as it reminded her of how the slim Hyuk had treated her. After her abortion, when she was feeling low, the chubby Hyuk reached out and confessed his feelings, prompting her to invite him over. His gesture of fixing the broken light bulb truly filled the void left by the slim Hyuk in her heart. Whenever the slim Hyuk was busy with work, the chubby Hyuk made sure to spend quality time with her. Da-eun mentioned that she had lost her graduation ring, but in reality she had returned it to the slim Hyuk after their breakup. Since the slim Hyuk canceled their trip to Jeju, Da-eun decided to invite the chubby Hyuk instead. She even bought matching sneakers for him to encourage him. After everything, Da-eun resolved to move on from the slim Hyuk, pretending not to recognize him as they continued their journey to Jeju. Meanwhile, the slim Hyuk was upset with Da-eun for ending things and returned to Bo Young. He even attempted to propose to her, but she turned him down. Reflecting on his past, he sought someone to blame and ultimately pointed fingers at his former boss who had transferred him to Seoul and caused the breakup with Da-eun. In the end, he mourned his bad luck for losing both his love and his dream job. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications for more great content. Thank you for watching.